Okay. Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday, July 7th. And thanks for coming back again to check out my cards. Today, we're going to be continuing part two of the sports cards. These are just some of the that I had done yesterday. This is my tester, of course, but all of these are done in the same way, and I've already done the tutorial for them. So check that out. I believe in the description below, or if you go onto my page, you can easily see it there. But did a baseball one after I realized I was muted for the past 30 minutes, so I had to redo it and made I made this one. But they're both made the same way. Actually, all three of these are made the same way. Now, I wanted to do something a little different. I wanted this to be more like, now this is just a prototype. This is super tiny, and I always do my prototypes a little tiny so I don't waste a lot of paper. But you can obviously make these bigger, and it actually works very well. The shading of it hides the little indent that it creates, so when you open it up, you can't really tell. But we in the tutorial, I'll show you how to make the actual 8-ball. But for the card that I'm making today, I'm going to be making a football because it is a national pastime here in Tennessee. From college football to, high school football to even little kids football. It is a national holiday, pastime here in Tennessee. So I thought, what a better way to invite family and friends and to make a card for those events, like for a tailgating party, for a football party at somebody's house, for an actual event. This would be a really great invite or a card you can give to someone that really likes it. No chat voice. Okay, guess not watching or looking. I am. Wait. I'm looking. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Pardon me. I see what I'm. Oh, that's something else. Hold on. Speech chat. You are right. I forgot my speech chat. Guys, if you don't know what speech chat is, Devlin's going to test it out right now and let you guys know. Go ahead. Try your speech chat. This is primarily for me because I forget or don't look as often as I should to. Oh, hail me. Thank you for joining us, Devlin. Always a pleasure. I hope work is not going to be too hard for you today. I'm going to start my training or my class here. So if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Speech chat will let me notify me on anything that you guys say. It's for my benefit. But I think it's kind of neat because you guys get to hear what actual chat is going on over here. All right, let's get to this the sports balls here. All right, we're gonna start with the 8-ball since that's what I showed you right now. So all I'm gonna do is just grab a circle. Now all of these are just nothing more than basic shapes, and I'm gonna make it just slightly bigger so you guys can see what's going on here. All right, I'm gonna duplicate this, turn this black, and this is gonna be my shader. So I'm going to duplicate this one. And all I'm going to do, depending on where you want your shade to be, that looks pretty good. And I'm going to slice. All right, I don't need anything else. That's all I really need. So I got my circle, my shader. And now I just need a plain old circle. I don't have to manipulate this anyway. It's perfectly fine the size that it is. And for the center of here, you can go to text and put the number 8. Now, I am not a whiz at this. You may have some issues with when you cut this. I didn't when I did mine, but I have it set for Cricut Sans. So that's like the default, which is perfectly fine for me. I don't need anything fancy. All right, sounds good, Devlin. Thank you for stopping by. See you in about 20, 30 minutes. Mm. Oh, that is just some delicious tea. All right, so we got our first shape image SVG. All right, we got our first one. I'm going to move him way over here. And for these guys, let me make them a little smaller, like that. All right, I'm going to do the football last because that's what we're going to be working on. All right, next we're going to do our soccer ball right here. Now you could do this one of two ways. It's going to give you two different images and it's up to you on which one you want to use. All right, so this one is, I'm going to make that full black, and this one I'm going to make full white. Alrighty, I'm going to grab myself my pentagon tool and place him right in the middle. Now if you want to make sure it's absolute middle, just go to align and then center. See, I don't like that. Is it just me or is it a little lower on the bottom here? Let's see. I think that looks a lot better. All right, I'm going to cut. Well, I'm not going to cut. I'm duplicating. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow all of these edges all the way around to make the soccer ball. Now, I want all my lines to be even, so you're going to have to do a bit of eyeballing here. Okay, I just need to follow these lines to the best of my ability. I think that looks pretty good. Duplicate. I'm just going to have to follow. Whoop. Okay. And move it ever so slightly like that. Do that over here. No, there's no wrong or right way to do this. This is just my method. If you can come up with a better method, by all means, I suggest you can use it. But this is the way I've come up how to make this look like a soccer ball. Okay. That looks pretty good. Now, you are not able to cut this if you just highlight it. It won't let you. You're gonna have to select all of the dark images here and weld them. That way you can see right here, this little area here, it turned it into one layer. So it's considering it as one image. I'm gonna move it down just a little bit and I'm gonna slice. Now, you can use this as your image. Put that white. Like that. You can use it like that, or you can use the reverse. Now, you can notice that there's something wrong here. This area right here has been cut through, and that's fine. It happens on occasions. Well, it happens every time, but it's because you're trying to get this shape. That's why it happens. But you just fill it in, get another pentagon tool, cover it up, and then you weld. There you go. So either one that you want to choose is fine. I personally like this one because it's connected and you don't have to deal with figuring out where all the little pieces went. Unless you have maybe a transfer tape to do it and it's going on a vinyl, then I can see this actually working. This image right here working. But this seems the more desirable. I mean, you can always change the color of the circle also. You can make it the opposite direction. Make it black. See? It's all really depends on how you want this to look. So I'm going to delete this one. And I'm going to move you over here. Right here. All right. Next. Let's go with the puck. Now this is one of the most interesting ones. So you're going to have 3 images here to make the puck. First things first, we need to elongate this. Actually, I don't need this one yet. Now this really depends upon the size of your card. So if you're going to be making a card, I would suggest somewhere between the range of 4 and 1/4, because that would be the length of a standard A2 size card. Okay, but this is just for the tutorial purposes. So let's bring this to the front. Why is this saying back? All right, there we go. And I'm going to make you full black. Okay. I'm going to take it off the lock and I'm going to elongate this. Now this is the only hard part to this card. It's just the designing portion. It takes the longest to do. Okay, I'm going to copy and copy again. What this is going to do, okay, all I'm doing is trying to align this and this. Now, if you have a little bit of a bump, that's fine. It gives it more to the realism of the card. All right, let's get a little closer just to make sure it's not like grossly sticking out. And it was. All right. What about this side? Okay, that's good. Now I'm going to weld everything together. It's like, okay, all right. This is also how you can make a cake. This is exactly the same thing on how to make a cake. So you bring this to the front. Why does this keep saying paste? That's so weird. All right, and put this to the front like that. Ta-da! Now you made yourself a puck for like hockey. So if you have a hockey game or your kids are going to a hockey game, I know in California the Sharks are a big deal out there. So I know this would be perfect for like anybody that's doing some sort of a tailgating party or something like that. All right, I'm going to move this guy over here. Over here. Alrighty, now for the main guy over here, the football. Now this one was kind of tricky. I was trying to make the edges here look a little bit more like a football, but it is super difficult when you're only working with basic shapes. Pardon me. Okay, I'm going to take this off the lock and I'm going to elongate it. Just like that. All right, I'm going to grab myself a triangle and I'm going to go to the rotate button and do 90 degrees. All right, this is a little too, you see how I'm following the line of the curve here? I'm trying to make that as fluid as possible. I'm going to take this off the lock and bring it in just like that. I'm going to take it again and duplicate it, but this time I'm going to flip it and do it exactly the same on the opposite side. Now try to make it match up as much as possible without having any kind of point sticking out. All right, let me make sure this is all centered vertically. Yes. Okay, yay. All right, now I'm going to weld. Now we got a nice little fluid eye looking shape. All right, but we're not looking for an eye, although you could turn it into an eye, I guess. All right, all I'm going to do is just snip the ends here. Just a tiny little bit. Nothing too crazy. And I'm going to slice. All right, I'm going to do the same over here. Just a tiny little bit. Nothing too crazy. Slice. All right. I mean, you can slice up a little more if you feel the need. If you're not happy with it, you can always cut it with your scissors and round it out a little more if that's what you want. All right, let's change this to the appropriate color. Duplicate this, turn it white. All right. Now I'm going to grab myself a square and then add the details to this football. So I'm just going to elongate this to the shape that I want, or the length that I want. And that looks pretty good. And right there. That looks pretty good. And it doesn't matter if they're centered or not, because what really matters is just the middle here. So I'm just going to highlight. And nope, I forgot. I need to weld these two. There we go. Now it sees it as one layer. Selecting the whole thing and slice. Okay, that's not what I need. That's not what I need. This is what I need. There we go. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Well, I'm not gonna need this anymore. Now let's do the little, I'm not quite sure what you call this, sewing, the stitches? Yeah, I guess the stitches. All right, let's see, I want it about, let's see, about that big. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna duplicate this. Well, no, it's facing the wrong direction. So take it off the lock. And I kind of want my stitches to be a bit thick. Just like that. Now you can use your grid line that's on your Cricut to space these out properly. Let's see. You can add as many or as few stitches as you want. It's really all up to you. Select, and let's make sure that all of these are the same size. This is horizontally, vertically, okay. Select everything and weld. Okay, perfect. At least for me, it's perfect. I add white. That seems a little big, so let me just take this off the lock. There we go. Okay, I'm good with that. I'm cool with that. All right, now to make it into actual, physical being. Now that we have these and you know how to do them, I'm going to delete them because we don't need them. And we no longer need these. So I'm deleting this as well. What I do need is this. I'm going to duplicate this because this is going to be our in the middle. I'm just going to make it slightly smaller. Let's see. That's perfect. Okay. Now I'm going to duplicate this. And I'm going to put it right on the top. Now you can, if you want, add a score line. I am notorious and awful when it comes to switching out my blade. So just to not giving me that much of a headache, I am going to just leave it like that. I'm not going to even put a score line. So I'm going to take both of these shapes, center horizontally. Yes. And wait. Do I want to make a cover? Let's see if I have, I have enough for a cover. So let's duplicate this. Now, the reason why I'm duplicating this is because it will create not a smooth line. It's going to be a very, how do I say this phonetically? It's going to give me a very harsh line once I fold this. And I don't want that. I want it to be very fluid. So this is going to be what's going to go right on top. Okay, let's see. Move this to the back. And there we go. This is a pretty basic card. This is going to, it's super easy to do. You can, mass produce this if you need to send it to a whole bunch of friends. So let's get to the cutting portion. Now, as you can see, Cricut tries to optimize my page, but as you can, there is a lot of room down here. Seriously, there's a lot of room. I don't know why I just didn't move it down here. But I'm going to try to get as much of my white. All right, that's good. And that's good. All right. Since I have a 12 by 12, this is fine the way it looks. Now, if you go to continue under the red, it'll tell the machine, this is what the area that you want to cut first. I wanted to cut my white first, so I'm going to go move it right back up. It's checking for my machine, and it's telling me, all right, you're ready to go. Okay. Now, I chose almost pumpkiny brown, and there's texture to this, but if you really want to make sure that you show a lot of texture, you can always stamp on this, put a little bit of a gloss on it, make it however you want it to look like to give it more dimension. There's even pattern paper that looks like a football, like the pattern of the football skin, I should say. All right, I'm gonna put this, give it a nice little rub down. And yes, if you're me, I'm going to tape this thing down. You don't have to, but me personally, I don't trust my mat. I don't particularly like it really super sticky. Yeah. Hello. Hello, Morton. Thank you for stopping by. Yes, I have voice chat. It helps me out to realize that there's people in the stream because I don't look over here. Welcome back, Devlin. Yes, all hail me. Now, this is a little big. I didn't measure it. That's my fault. I was supposed to make this fit an A2 size card, which should have been the size of 1/4 by 5.5. That was my mistake. But you know what? It's cool. Oh yeah, you are so not here. How are you doing today, Morton? Are you doing pretty good? Don't mind Devlin. He's always here. Okay. So this is just a tad bit big. But if you're going to give this to like a Father's Day gift, or a brother that really likes football, or a sister that loves football, because I know there's women out there that love football. They cater to, making like total events on football. This would be the perfect size. It just won't have an envelope because it's so big. Yeah, I should have made this a little tinier, but that's okay. You go big or go home when it comes to football. And I'm going pretty big. All right. Now, I am not a big fan of sports. I am more of a bystander. I am okay going to the tailgating parties and having myself a good old time with family and friends. But for sports events, I'm like, I can take it or leave it. Unless it's hockey and I'm actually there. Or baseball and I'm actually there. If I'm watching it on TV, you can take it or leave it. I know when I went to my first hockey game, I went out of my mind on how exciting and exhilarating. It was just the feel of the crowd that made the difference. I'm just letting you guys know. All right, putting in my brown. It's something about being at a game that's absolutely a different experience than actually watching it on TV. And I can tell you what, a lot of people in my family were super upset that they weren't able to go to their favorite event. Okay, what do I got going on here? What's this? Oh yeah, this is my layer. I'll tell you, Devlin is a big baseball fan, and he would 100% be at a game than watching it. It's something about being on the, seeing the field, looking at the players, eating their delicious food at the stadium. Not only that, my son, oh my goodness, he loves going to the game with his daddy. Oh, it's like the highlight of his day. My little girl, I think she's getting into it, or at least she was. Okay, everything has been said and done. Now, this is what I'm going to show you. Fold this. Oh, I guess it didn't give me that much of a difference. I was worrying over nothing. Yeah, it gave me a little bit. But if that bothers you, you have a secondary one just to put right on top, and it just looks seamless. And if the sides are bothering you, you can just use your, scissors, cut that right off. All right, let's see. Do I want to use this or not? Well, I kind of have it, so I might as well use it, kind of a thing. And this is sticking up a little too high. Let me just make sure this fits the way it's supposed to. Yeah. I'm sorry. I just don't trust myself when it comes to score lines. I am notorious for cutting through my score lines. It is awful. Absolutely, positively awful. I'm just that much of a... I'm very flighty when it comes to that. I don't remember. Very... what do you call that? Not flippant. Aloof. I'm very aloof to that. I'm like, meh. Okay, I'm just taking a bit of my color block brown and going around the edges just to give it a little bit of shading. You don't have to do this, but my cardstock has this white cord, and I absolutely despise that. When I bought this 12 by 12 cardstock from Recollection, I didn't check when it said white core. I try to avoid getting cardstocks that have a white core that are solids. Now, if it's on a pattern paper, that's perfectly fine. But when it's a solid like this, I kind of want it to be all the way through. I shouldn't say despise, more so absolutely gut-wrenching. Don't like it whatsoever. It's in my soul. All right, let me just get rid of some of this. And what I need is some glue. Okay, I got myself some glue. Now you can do double-sided tape, but I want to make sure that this is not going to go anywhere. And a word of caution: when using glue, you must use a book or something heavy on top of this once you are done, because you do not want to get bumps. You will get, glue will tend to warp your paper. But I want to make sure that this is not going to go anywhere. And I kind of like the fact that I can move this to where it needs to go before it sets. So once I'm done, I'm going to put this between two books, just to make sure it doesn't lift. But if you don't want to avoid that, just double-sided tape. Especially if you think that the person is going to be like, oh, I'm going to toss this later. Now, there are a few out there that actually do keep their cards for references, like me. I'm a weirdo like that. I like keeping cards that I get. Now, do I want yellow? I think I want chestnut. That's what I want. I want chestnut. Now, I'm just using this chestnut lightly. If you have a sponge dauber, I suggest to use it. These makeup sponges, as much as I love to use them, they tend to fray and pieces start to come off. You can also have the technique of, rubbing it on there, but I kind of want to just give it a light little tap. Just a light tap. So when you put it on the card, it kind of stands out just a little bit. The devil is in the details, people. In the details. It's how it looks. Those little small touches that make a difference. Oh yeah, that looks good. That looks real good. Wait a minute, do I have this backwards? Yes, I did. Okay, that's my inside. What side are you? What side are you? Let me go back. I'm finished with my card. Can't really tell. Generally, there we go. Generally, you can tell what the shape is just by looking at it, but these look too close to find out what it is. But then again, I guess you could just butt them up. Yeah, so I'm in the right. That was a lucky shot there. Oh yeah, that looks nice. Just a little bit of shading, just a tiny bit. Oh good, that's looking good. Alrighty. There we go. Now, to assemble everything. Let's start with the inside first. And do I want to do double-sided tape? No, I don't. I mean, if you have double-sided tape and you make a mistake with the inside, you can always rip it off. But with glue, it's kind of like a permanent thing. So that's something to keep in mind. You can always tear it off with double-sided tape and recut this and then add it. So that's a tip of the day. If you add glue, stuck forever. Have double-sided tape, at least you get somewhat of a chance to remove it without too much difficulty. Yes, it will tear up your paper, but not as much as it would if you just glue this down. All right. Okay, where's my, there we go. Okay, and that's stuck onto here. You just flipped right on here. Okay. Ew. This is looking mighty nice. I love glue because it gives me time to adjust. So is this looking like a football to you guys? Or have I deluded myself into believing it actually looks like that? I think it kind of does. Okay. Oh yeah. I think this is one of my favorite cards. Sure, it's a little big. It's, what is this? It's 8 1/4 by 3 1/4. Oh, so it's a little big. It's a little big. But when you're dealing with football, no such thing as a little bit of big. Okay, so these are the cards that I have done in regards to my sports. So this one, if you haven't seen these cards, I suggest you take a look. It's on one of my previous videos. On YouTube, you're probably gonna see it a week later. But for you guys, it's just a day later, so you can just check on that. So we have bowling ball, we have baseball, we have basketball, we have pool. You can play pool, inviting people to your, not the type of pool that you swim in, but you know what I mean. And then of course, oh, came out gorgeous. So thank you so much. I know this is a very short stream, very small, but it's pretty awesome. I mean, you made this, you created it with using nothing more than basic shapes, and now you can mass produce this and use it any old time. Thank you so much for stopping on by, you guys. You have a beautiful day. Talk to you later.